I'm chatting to Siphamandla Buthelezi. He's COO and Executive Head of Platforms at NMG Benefits. Siphamandla, I appreciate the time. I have to be honest, this kind of escaped my thought process, but if I'm correct, 1st of March is obviously our new tax year for individuals. It then meant that people could make another two-part withdrawal from their two-part systems, and in essence, the numbers all kind of reset for the new tax year.
Simon, thank you so much for having me. Yes, you are right. The 1st of March, it is the beginning of a new tax year. And for two-pot, it actually means that we're kickstarting a new year. So it means those people who actually previously submitted claims last year and those who are waiting to submit again in a new tax year actually are now in a position to do so.
And you can do one withdrawal per year and up to 30%. I mean, T's and C's, obviously 30% of the money post the initial launch back in, September 2024?
Yes, September 2024, when it was launched, we had an initial seeding of 10% capped at 30,000 rand, so whichever one that is the highest. So when we started in September 2024, people were limited to that. Mm-hmm. But obviously from September 2024, the 1/3 of your monthly contributions have been going towards what we call the saving pot. Mm-hmm. So what now you can take from the saving pot is whatever that you have. The minimum withdrawal is set at 2,000 rand. But whatever the amount that you have sitting on your saving pot is what actually you have access to. And you can only do one withdrawal per financial year.
Yeah, that's perhaps the important point. So then the crux of the question, how has withdrawal activity been? What have you seen at NMG Benefits?
So at NMG Benefits, we actually seeing a spike in the withdrawals. Interestingly enough, that up to date, NMG has recorded just under 115,000 claims in total. That's now since inception in September 2024. But the interesting fact, Simon, here is the claims that we saw coming in the first 2 weeks of March actually are over the total number of claims we saw in March last year. So this tells you that now you've got more people who are actually coming in to claim. And in fact, to be honest with you, that total number of claims that we saw in the first 2 weeks of March, which is about 13,555, 50% of that was recorded within just the first 2 days of March, which was the second and the third. So it tells you have a lot of people who are waiting for this financial year to submit a claim.
And that's a little bit scary. And most people, because it's up to 30% of the available in the savings pot, you don't have to take the full 30. You could take less. Are people typically taking the full amount, or are they being more pragmatic and kind of maybe matching to a need?
People are taking the full amount. So people are taking the full amount. You hardly see claims whereby someone is taking 50% of what they have. Most of these claims is 100% of what's sitting in the saving pot.
And that is, I like the two-part system. I think it's better. We know people would leave jobs in order to access. That was never good. But it really is, in a sense, it's meant for those emergencies. It feels like in some cases it's perhaps more day-to-day expenses. And to be clear, that's maybe an indication of how tough it is out there for consumers, but rather than the sort of serious emergency.
I fully agree with you. I think the trend that we're seeing at NMG Benefits reflects the financial realities facing many South Africans, right? And then I guess the only difference here is that the financial institutions like ours are not in control of what this money is being used for. Yeah. But we're assuming, and in few instances where we spoke to the members, they all will tell you the importance of taking this. I had a story in 2024 where I spoke to one of the members who said she was happy with this money because now she doesn't have to go to a mashonisa to get a loan for school fees, right? So it's really, really following the trend that reflects the financial realities that are facing many South Africans in our country.
It's nice now, it hurts later because you're going to have a less good retirement. But I take the point. For many South Africans, it is that it's a rock and a hard place. And we can talk about the right thing to do, but maybe that's from a position of privilege sometimes. I want to change track slightly. You have a digital environment. And in fact, you're seeing a lot of this going through digital. And if I understand, you're actually doing some of it on WhatsApp. The process is happening sort of online entirely.
Yes, 100%. Another clear trend that is emerging from these claims is the rapid adoption of digital channels. So at NMG Benefits, we have a WhatsApp bot, which we use to administer the two-pot claims. And 93% of all our savings withdrawal requests are coming via this WhatsApp. Oh, wow. So it tells you that people are adopting the technology as well. And it is also just the fastest way of submitting these claims. We have built all the safety nets and the security protocols within this WhatsApp bot for claims. But it does the work. And most people who actually go there, they can actually go there later on and then check the status of their claims. So you don't need to actually submit paper, or you don't need to call the call center.
Yeah, absolutely. A way benefit. And then how long is the process from sort of application to money hitting a bank account? A couple of days?
So it depends. So we had claims that are paid within the first 3 days, more especially for those monthly price funds. We've got claims being paid within the first 3 days. In instances whereby the claim will delay, it's when there is issues with the bank account. Maybe the bank account or it doesn't match the member's details. And then there's also instances with the tax. So the tax application sometimes does take a slightly longer, more especially if there's any IT 88s that the member needs to pay towards us.
That's the other part. If you owe SARS money, well, SARS wants their money. We'll leave
Absolutely.
it there. They never not want their money. Siphamandla Buthelezi, COO, Executive Head Platforms at NMG Benefits. Appreciate the time. And that's our poll today, LinkedIn and Twitter. Two-pot money, have you drawn? We've now had 3 opportunities to do it. Have you taken any money? Have your vote? Have your say? LinkedIn and Twitter.
Moneyweb now on the money.